Hello and welcome to this first series of click-by-click tutorials on using Excel 2010. In this series of videos you'll learn some of the basic techniques to get you started in using Excel. If you want to practice the techniques that are shown in these videos, you can download the exercise files along with the written instructions from our website at www.WizzyBooks.com. In this lesson we'll have a look at how we navigate in Excel. That's to say, how we move around the work area. When Excel starts with a new workbook, cell A1 is always the active cell. If we were to start typing text now, this is where it would appear, in A1. So if I type in some numbers, they will appear in cell A1. And notice that when I finished inserting the text and I pressed enter on the keyboard, the cursor moved down one cell, assuming that the next number that I want to add to the workbook will be underneath the first one. This is Excel's selection cursor, so whichever cell is highlighted, in this case cell A2, will have this thick black line around it. That signifies the active cell, or the cell that we're about to work on, and it's called the selection cursor. If I take my mouse and click on any of the cells in the workbook, this one for example, D4, the selection cursor will jump to where I click. So I can select any cell in the worksheet that I want, and that's done simply by clicking the mouse onto a cell. When I'm entering data into a workbook, sometimes it's easier to use the cursor keys on the keyboard. So we've got the up, down, left and right cursor keys, and by pressing them we can move down, up, left or right within the worksheet. When we entered the information in the first cell and pressed enter on the keyboard, the cursor dropped down by one, assuming that we wanted to enter a column of numbers. But what if we want to enter a row of numbers? Let's have a look. If I delete the numbers I entered to start with, if I enter the number 1 into cell A1, I can then use the cursor key to move right where I might enter number 2. Again, cursor key right, enter number 3, and so on. So that's how we move around and enter information into the Excel workbook.